Did you know that vultures not only prevent diseases from infecting other animals, but they are also nature's greatest anti-poaching alarms? Vultures are some of the most misunderstood birds to have ever lived. Even though this wasn't always the case, vultures today are often represented in pop culture as symbols of death, decay, and inevitable doom. But this grim reputation couldn't be further from the truth. In reality, vultures are the unsung heroes of the animal kingdom. In everything the vulture does, it actually helps its fellow animals. They sanitize both the wild and human civilization, and they actually help anti-poaching teams catch poachers better than any human technology. Wherever there is death, the vultures are not far behind. This is their superpower. Countless animals are currently facing extinction because of poachers. The most well-known among these victims are rhinos, among which most subspecies range from critically endangered to extinct. African elephants, who are poached for their ivory tusks, have lost 90% of their population in the last 100 years due to poaching. But the poaching does not stop there. Lions, leopards, many different species of antelope, and countless other animals are targeted by poachers. The number of deaths are estimated in the thousands per day, but vultures could provide a solution. These magnificent birds sometimes spend hours a day searching for food, but they are not hunters. They're scavengers, meaning that they don't kill their own prey, but feed on carcasses. When vultures fly, they take advantage of hot updrafts, called thermals, which they ride up in a spiral motion, creating the stereotypical vulture circling pattern we often see portrayed in pop culture. These thermals allow them to reach extraordinary heights with very little effort. While many of these incredible birds typically fly at an altitude of more or less 3,000 meters or 10,000 feet, the Rappel's vulture holds the world record for the highest recorded flight of a bird. This particular vulture was recorded at 11,300 meters, or 37,100 feet, when it collided with a commercial airplane. Vultures also have an incredible eyesight, which is 8 times better than our own. Vultures' eyes are positioned on the side of their head, giving them an incredible field of vision, which allows them to spot carcasses from kilometers away. Some vultures, like the turkey vulture, also have a keen sense of smell, which is rather unusual for birds. But vultures don't rely on spotting carcasses alone. They are social creatures, who do not only keep an eye on the ground, but keep careful watch of other vultures too. So when one vulture has locked onto a carcass, other vultures take notice and swiftly follow suit. This behavior makes them nature's own surveillance team. Vultures do not care how the animal initially died, whether it was killed by predators, died of disease, or was poached. They will find it. Vultures all circling over the same spot is a sign that death is below them. These silent birds can be seen from kilometers away. They act as massive beacons in the sky for rangers and anti-poaching teams, warning them that something has happened. These teams can quickly investigate the site and determine whether the origin of death was from natural causes or from poachers. When poachers hunt their prey, they rely on stealth and a quick getaway to avoid anti-poaching teams. Thanks to the vultures, anti-poaching teams often reach the site fast enough to locate and apprehend the poachers who are still nearby. Conservationists and anti-poaching teams have since enhanced this natural beacon by equipping vultures with GPS tracking devices. Due to real-time information this GPS data provides, anti-poaching teams can immediately be notified. The site can also be cross-referenced with existing data to help determine if that particular site is a hotspot for poaching. Unfortunately, poachers are well aware of the vulture's behavior and take countermeasures of their own. They have taken to lacing carcasses with poison and then simply sit back and wait for the vultures to devour it. In 2019, poachers poisoned 3 elephant carcasses, killing 537 endangered vultures in northern Botswana. And this was not a one-off event. In 2025, in South Africa's Kruger National Park, 116 vulture carcasses were found around a single poisoned elephant. Another 7 died shortly afterwards. 84 more poisoned vultures were successfully rescued. This has absolutely devastating consequences for both the wild and human civilization. While vultures serve as efficient anti-poaching alarms, they are first and foremost nature's cleanup crew. They sanitize the environment, killing off diseases and parasites before they have a chance to spread. With the stomach pH level at nearly 0, which is about the same potency as battery acid, nothing survives the incredibly efficient digestive system. Animal carcasses carrying diseases such as rabies, tuberculosis, or anthrax, to name a few, are neutralized by vultures before they've had a chance to seep into the environment, infecting everything around the source. Other festering carcasses are also cleaned up by vultures, destroying any parasites or diseases which may have tainted the carcass post-mortem. Unfortunately, poachers aren't the only danger to vultures. Power lines, wind turbines, a loss of habitat due to human expansion, and unintentional poisonings all contribute to the frightening eradication of vultures. Over the last 50 years, vultures have declined by a devastating estimated rate of up to 97% across Africa. Vultures are among the most endangered birds in the world, with over 70% classified between vulnerable and critically endangered. In India, vulture populations have declined by over 99% since the 1990s. This decline is directly responsible for over 500,000 human deaths in a mere 5 years. While diseases are annihilated by the vulture's digestive system, the vultures are vulnerable against human-made poisons and common medication. Vultures will clean up the carcasses of cattle who've been treated with an anti-inflammatory medication. This medication is poisonous for vultures and was ultimately banned in 2006, but the damage was already done. Without vultures as a cleanup crew, the rotting flesh piled up. This attracted feral dogs, who no longer had to compete with vultures or food sources. Due to the abundance of food, the quantity of feral dogs multiplied, leading to an increase of attacks upon humans and cases of rabies. If vultures are such essential creatures, where does their morbid reputation come from? Let's face it, vultures are not pretty birds. In fact, they have a rather menacing look about them. I personally think that they have a certain charm to them, but I guess I'm biased. Most species are bald for sanitary reasons. This feature allows them to dig their heads deep into carcasses and tear apart rotting, diseased flesh and bones without wetting their feathers with blood, where it can potentially fester and harbor disease. These powerful birds can be frightening up close, just because of their massive size. The Andean condor, the largest of the vultures, can weigh up to 15 kilograms, or 33 pounds, and can have a wingspan of 3.3 meters, or 10.5 feet, making them one of the largest flying birds in the world. It's also interesting to note that vultures can be divided into 2 categories, who both evolved many of the same traits independently of one another. The first category is Old World vultures, who are found in Africa, Europe, and Asia. The other category is New World vultures, who are found in the Americas. While vultures are generally seen as morbid omens of death within modern Western culture, This is not true for all cultures. In fact, many cultures revere vultures. How do you see vultures? Let me know in the comments. The Egyptians associated vultures with nurturing and motherhood. In fact, the hieroglyph for mother is a vulture. To the Romans, vultures were intimately linked to war. They were associated with military strategy and with Mars, the Roman god of war. Legend has it that the Roman commander Marius captured a pair of vultures and placed bronze collars around their necks to inspire his army during battle. In Tibetan Buddhism, vultures are revered as holy birds. In the ancient funeral custom known as sky burials, vultures devour the flesh of the dead. This ancient practice is now threatened by the decreasing number of vultures. Conservationists are working relentlessly to restore the vulture population worldwide, but it's an uphill battle. Vultures have an incredible natural lifespan and, depending on the species of vulture, can live from 10 to 50 years. But this also means that they reach a maturity a lot slower than other birds. Their breeding habits are not designed to recover naturally from such devastating losses. Vultures are monogamous birds, meaning that they mate for life. Most species return to the same nest every year and typically lay only a single egg per season. But it's not all bad news. Recently, conservationists have created vulture restaurants. These are dedicated areas where farmers can dispose of their vulture-safe animal carcasses, and vultures know they will always find food. This symbiotic relationship also helps researchers monitor vulture populations. These restaurants are located far from power lines and general human activity, ensuring that vultures have all the safe food they require, far from harm. I choose to believe that all hope is not lost. With a bit of knowledge and respect, maybe we can change the terrifying fate of these magnificent creatures. If you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up or sharing it with someone. And check out this next video if you're interested in learning about why ants are actually terrifying.